it's Leanne here with Diamonds and Doxies. Oh, I forgot to cover up my bobo. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. I forgot to do that. I burned myself. Oh gosh, well, it's been over a week ago. I know that now, but anyway, it's still trying to heal and it looks really gross. But anyway, I wanted to do a WIP and chat, and I'm going to work on. It's called The Witch's Black Cat by Jeremiah Ketner. It's a round kit, and I'm doing it, well, I could pick an event, but I'm doing it for Mia's Witches and Wizards DP Along 2026. But it also would work for her cat event. But I also have other cats to work on when I finish this. You'll notice I'm only on my second section. That's because I've been so focused on finishing other kits. So I thought I'd give this kit some love. I'm just not good at working on multiple kits at one time, like stopping and going and doing another one. I tend to work on one until I'm tired of diamond painting, and then I don't want to diamond paint anymore. So I am using my tray bricks from Cat Eared. I love them. They're my new favorite storage. And unless they come out with a better tray, I'm going to love these. They don't, they have a coating that prevents static. I have not had any problems with static since I have had them. You can go to their website at cateared.com, or you can also get stuff on their Amazon store. But I found that if you don't mind, I mean, you can get like a case that holds them on Amazon, but you can get different colors at Cat Eared. You can also get different color trays, and the more you buy, the bigger the discount. So, you know, I would say just look. These are the large tray bricks, and I could not go any smaller. This is small enough. I mean, you know, part of me wants to say I wish they'd come out with one that's a little bit bigger, but then I'd have to buy a whole new setup. So, but yeah, no, not any smaller though, for sure. So I like them, and they work well for me. My pen is pretty sure. Well, I think this is Butterfly Effect Wares. In fact, I'm positive this is. I don't think this is a blank that I bought and had turned. I think this is from them. I'm using the single placer and the multi-placers and 8-placer. Both of these are from Diamond Art Club. They don't currently have any single placers. Don't know if they have any 8-placers either. But just get on the, put your name in the hat and get on the waiting list. And then when they come back in stock, they should let you know. So, yeah. So anyway, I think, I guess I should say in my multi-placer, I am using putty. And let's see if that's right here. It is this one right now. It's called It's Fall Y'all from Butterfly Effect Wares. This is the first and the only actually putty that I got from them. And I like it. So far so good. So I've got a gazillion different putties. So, yep, but it's good. I like it. So, how is everyone doing? My goodness, we had, for us, I live in if you're new here, I live in the southeast portion of Texas. And so it's close to the coast, and we don't get a lot of cold. We do get some. I mean, if we're going to get cold weather, we get it in late January and February. Those are our coldest times. We usually start warming up by March. But we don't really start getting cold until January, like towards the end of January. So, you know, they had predicted all of this. Oh my gosh, the snow, the ice, the sleet, you know, we were going to be stuck in our houses. I mean, the whole, 9 yards. And so everything has been closed. I mean, I went to I did like everybody else, but I went to the grocery store pretty early. And I didn't buy any toilet paper. We already had some. I mean, I didn't buy anything that I wouldn't normally buy. But I did buy things so I could cook at home, which I wanted to do that anyway. But yeah, it was crazy. And then so let's see, Friday, it was just wet. It rained. I mean, it was 100% chance of rain, and it rained, which was good because we needed the rain. And then it did not rain on Saturday, so everything dried up. And then Sunday in the evening, we had a hard freeze. So Monday, everything was closed. I mean, they closed the school, and I'm like, you may have jumped the gun on that, but, I don't know. Maybe they were afraid that, the schools might have broken pipes or something. I really don't know. But anyway, lots of businesses, restaurants and stuff, they were closed, and it was such a glorious day. It was cold, but it did get out of freezing during the day, and it was clear blue skies. It was gorgeous. And I had a doctor's appointment. It was a follow-up for my, earlier, or actually right before the first of the year, I had to have a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. And so it was just a follow-up for that. And that all went well. Yeah, I'll talk more about that. But anyway, it was awesome because there was hardly any traffic on the road, and that has got to be the least amount of people I have ever seen in that particular office, because it's also where they do mammograms and DEXA scans and, other things. And there was hardly anybody in the waiting room, and I was very pleased with that. So that worked out in my favor. I didn't have to wait long. This particular doctor, you usually have to wait a long time. So yeah, it worked out real well. Where did that come from? A little stowaway. I hope y'all can see just fine. I hope I'm close enough for you. I never know if I'm too close or far away, or I just don't ever know, because I need to get a TV up here so that I can stream it to my TV so that I can see what you're seeing. But I haven't done that for a couple of reasons. One, it would have to hang on the wall, so I would need help. Uh-oh, I think I might have to push this up some, because look, I'm right there on the, yeah, okay. Might have to re-finagle here. What's that? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think you can still see. Maybe I'll bring it down just a little bit. Yeah, okay, I think you can still see. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Lordy. So anyway, well, I'll just go back to what I was planning on talking about, and that was this doctor, my follow-up for my gastro. Well, so I have esophagitis or something like that. And he said, they put me on some Prilosec, just a small dose, because I also have osteoporosis, and it leads to, it can make it worse, and it also can cause osteoporosis. So he didn't want to put me on it long term, and he said, this low dose should fix it. But he also wanted me to do a barium swallow, because he's also concerned that it might also be caused, not from acid, but from things sitting at the esophagus where it goes into my stomach, because that's where the irritation is. So I got to do a barium swallow for that. But he had also told me whenever I had the procedure done to do not take any Advil or NSAIDs, because they exacerbate the problem. Well, that's a problem because I have TMJ, and it's pretty bad. So I'm like, so I said, okay, when I was in the hospital. But then when I got home, I was like, I can't do this. I mean, I have to take something. The pain is just too great. So I did, and I have. And so when I went for my follow-up, I told him, I said, look, I can't quit taking ibuprofen because I've got TMJ. I've never had a scan or anything, but that's what my primary care physician said, and it's also what my dentist said. So, and I've done all the things. I mean, I've done the night guard. I've done all those things. I most recently did Botox, and it worked. It worked for about a year, and then it didn't. So I quit doing that. And so yeah, I just started take Advils every day, you know. Ooh, goodness, I almost flipped those. And so I told him about it, and he said, well, you know, I think you can do we'll send you to an oral surgeon because I think they can do a steroid injection in that joint, and that will, you know, it should fix it for months, if not longer. And I was like, you know, I've had them in my shoulders, I've had them in my back. So I go see this doctor, and they do kind of like when you go to the dentist and they do that one that goes all the way around your head. So they did that there, and what he was looking for was osteoarthritis because, well, you know, he didn't come out and say it. He said, at this stage, we look for that. I'm thinking, no, you mean at my age, we look for that. Because I do have it, but I don't have it in my jaw. So that's good. So he said, well, no, first of all, he will not do a steroid injection because it leads to osteoarthritis. And so I'm like, well, that might explain why I have osteoarthritis in my shoulder and in my back. So when did this get decided? That's all I want to know. So, and seeing how I already have osteoarthritis, he doesn't want to, you know, do anything that can cause it. So what he's doing is he wants an MRI of my jaw open and closed, and then he wants me to take a Flexeril, a 5 milligram Flexeril every night, and I've got to get a MRI done, which I'm claustrophobic, so I'll have to be sedated. But I think I'll just self-medicate myself, because I do have something here that I can take. Because first of all, they don't give you that much there. They give you, I don't know, like Valium or something, and you know. And the nurse told me the last time that I had to get an MRI, she was like, do you have, because she was looking at my chart, she goes, do you have clonazepam at home? And I said, yes. She goes, you know what, next time, just take that, because that's stronger than what we have. So that's what I'll do. But anyway, so I'm gonna look and check my jaw with it closed and with it open. And then I go back in a month. But he said, I want you to do this Flexeril, and I want you to eat soft foods and don't open your mouth real wide. Okay. He said, when you yawn, put your hand up underneath your chin to keep your mouth from opening too big. Okay. Now this is going to be interesting, because I don't know if you've ever, my kids laugh at me, but my eldest son does the same thing, and his fiance is like, oh, that's where he gets it from. When I yawn, they know next door, okay? I yawn loudly with a big old gaping mouth, and because it makes me feel good all over. It's like, God, it's so, I don't know. I just do. So I'm like, I don't know how to yawn. I guess you would be like trying, like, someone like having a speaker and trying. I mean, I yawn doing videos, y'all. So I'm going to have to learn to not open my mouth very much. I guess like stifle a yawn, which is actually is painful to do sometimes. So, but, and then I go back in a month and we'll see if that has helped. And I told him, I said, now listen, and does this mean I am never going to be able to eat soft foods, regular foods again? And he said, well, we'll see. And I'm like, I said, I don't know. I got a problem with that. I mean, he goes, well, just for right now. I said, you want me to do it for a month? And he was like, yes. I said, okay, I'll do it for a month. But, I can't give you anything past that because, I mean, I don't know. It's like one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing, leads to another thing. So, I mean, I'm trying to fix it because I know that you're not supposed to take Advils every single day. I know that. I've known that for years. I mean, yes, my grandmother was elderly, but ultimately she ended up dying. She ended up developing kidney failure, and the doctor was like, did she take a lot of Advil? And I was like, well, of course she did. She had arthritis. So, and back when she started taking it, it was a prescription. So, yeah, she absolutely did. And he said, well, that's the thing, is long-term use is not healthy. Okay. Well, apparently it's not good for your esophagus and stuff either. Well, I am 63, and if you are, I'm not 63, I'm 62. I don't know why I'm trying to make myself older. It seems like what older people do is they make themselves older. But I am 62. So, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. He said there is a surgery that can be done. He goes, but it's really a last resort, and I'm cool with that, being a last resort and us trying other things. But I'm going to just tell you straight up, I am not going the rest of my life without eating a steak. Okay, I'm not going the rest of my life without eating a big old greasy cheeseburger or a big old chewy piece of pizza. Or fried chicken, or stuff like that. It's not going to happen. So I don't know how long I'm going to live, but let's say I live another 20, 30 years, which is possible. My grandmother died when she was 92. So, I mean, it's possible. My paternal grandmother, she died at 90. So there's, I might actually live to be a little older. And I just, it's like I don't know what I'd rather. You always think that until you get to be that age. And it's like, oh, well, you got to punch that time card. And it's like, oh, no, I'm not ready now. I said I would be in 30 years, but I thought it was just the other day. That couldn't have been 30 years ago. Oh, geez. My putty is... I might have to change it out. I hope not. I hope I don't have to change it out while talking to y'all, because I don't want to. But anyway, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. Every time you turn around, it's always something. Always something. But, I guess you just got to pick your poison, right? I mean, I do trust the doctor. I do go to see him because, I want him to fix me. But, I don't know. So I'm curious. I know I'm not alone in having TMJ. So if you have it or you know someone who's had it, what treatments have they done that have worked? I'm curious. Besides the Botox, of course, because that don't work. And then the night guards, I've done all of that. So, you know, something else, I suppose. Where is this? 44. Yeah. And I also wonder, because I just always associated, oh, dog nabbit, this happens. I put it up and it's like, oh, there you go. There's some more. And I looked before I put them up, but I missed them. Anyway, I have really bad ringing in my ears. Really, really bad. And so at night, that's why I have to have white noise. So I always have a fan. Even when I travel, I carry a fan. If for nothing else, for the noise. Now, I will also use it to, you know, keep me cool too, because I get hot. But that's the only way I can sleep. If it's too quiet, I cannot. It's, you know, all I can hear then is the ringing in my ears, and it's just deafening. So I wonder if I get the TMJ fixed, if that will make the ringing go away. I don't think so, because I asked that of the ENT who did my Botox, and he said no. And he said, actually, there is, this is what he told me, and I don't believe him, but this is what he said, that it's actually an illusion, that there's no physical reason for, wait a minute, no, that goes there. I guess I just lost one. For the ringing. He said, he goes, it will probably just go away on its own. And I was like, I've had it now for, well, I'll tell you exactly when I got it. Max and I were in, I think we were in Louisiana. Yeah, we were in Louisiana. And see, Max Jr. is, he was born in 87. So, oh my God, he's going to be 39. Anyway, so he's 38 right now, though. And, oh dear. And we went to see this, we went to this little bar to listen to this band, and the only place to sit was right next, and I mean right next to the big old speakers. And the next day, my hearing, I was hard of hearing the next day. And then the ringing started and it never went away. It's like my hearing did come back, but the ringing came and it never left. And I want to say he was probably a year old, something like that. So it's been going on for a long time. I think if it was going to go away on its own, it would have done so. So I guess that's just going to be something. Every once in a while, sometimes it's worse than others. Definitely when I'm stressed, it's worse. And sometimes I just want to go, ah, you know, shut up. But, yeah, I don't know. I, you know, not only did I come from a generation of put baby oil on yourself and, you know, go lay in the sun, sunscreen, for what? You know, I wouldn't be out here if I wasn't trying to get darker. So, yeah. And the same thing with, it ain't good if it ain't loud music, you know. God, what a big dummy. What a big dummy. But I think a lot of these kids are going to do the same thing, using their AirPods, because I'll walk past them and I can hear what they're, you know, that they're playing music. And I'm like, if I can hear it, it's too loud. But yeah. But I don't know. I can tell you this, when I was young like that, you could have told me nothing. But yeah. Even today, though, I don't, it's like, well, if I'm going to come out here so I can get some sun, I don't want a lot of sunscreen. I know, it's bad for my skin. It gives me wrinkles, and you can tell if you ever watch my lives that, yep, she does not wear sunscreen. And Anthony, if you're listening, eek, You know, play like you just didn't hear that, okay? Okay. Because I feel like I'm already pale, you know? And when I was young, it wasn't that big of a deal. But I tell you what has happened to me is I've got a lot of sunspots. A lot of sunspots, and they're not going anywhere. So, and I feel like I'm at that between age, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not old enough to say I'm too old to get things fixed. But then there's other part of me that says, are you though? Aren't you? Aren't you a little too old to be worried about this? So I don't know, you know. It's like, I don't want to look like I'm 20. I don't. Well, first of all, it's not possible for that to happen. And if anybody thinks it is, they're going to end up with some really bad plastic surgery. I mean, I've seen some plastic surgery that I'm like, oh my God, did you pay for that? And they're celebrities and stuff. So yeah, they paid for it, and they paid a lot. So, you know, I don't want to be, but, you know, part of me is like, maybe I should get a facelift. Maybe I should, you know, but then I'm like, ugh, I don't know. I see women who are like in their 30s, like 35, up to 40, I guess, talking about getting Botox and even facelifts. And I'm like, I think that's too young. You know, I mean, you're supposed to get some wrinkles. But what I always was told, now, I don't know if that, you know, things changed. This was 100 years ago when a doctor told me this, that you should count on a facelift lasting 10 years. So the longer you can hold off getting one, the better you'll be. And because I think if you go in, like if I went in now and did a facelift, I don't think it's something that when I'm 72, I can do without looking like my lips are up around my eyebrows, if that makes any sense. You know? Or my eyebrows are into my hairline. Because I did do a brow lift. Oh gosh, I did a brow lift when I was probably late 40s, maybe 50. And I can already see, I mean, it's already come down. I can see the scar, you know. So I'm like, well, okay, yeah, it's, so you got to figure a facelift will do the same thing. And and your skin gets thinner. I don't know. But I'm really not interested in doing a facelift. But, you know, every morning I take my face and I pull it back and go, this is what I would look like. And, gosh, I've known people who've done it, and the recovery, the pain is real. So I don't know. I do have a tendency to look at other people and go, okay. Yeah, it's not, but you know, when you do stuff like that, it's not for other people, it's for you, you know. If it gives you confidence and it makes you feel better, then I absolutely 100% do it. You know, do it. I mean, our looks does have something to do with our confidence, I think, you know. I know if I put on makeup and put a little extra effort in how I dress, I know there's a little bit more of a pep in my step. You know, I may hold my head a little higher than I would normally do. But then I don't always do that because, you know, I tried to get back into wearing makeup and I just don't like it. But you know what? Let me rephrase it. I do like it. I don't dislike makeup. What I don't like is having to take it off. And I don't like having to wash my face. I like being able to just go get in my big old bed, and there's nothing worse than getting in bed and going, son of a gun. I forgot to take my makeup off. Now, have I been guilty of not taking it off? I have. When I was younger, you know, sometimes my days and nights got all mixed up. So, I mean, I may have more than once, you know, went out the night before, stumbled into my apartment, brushed my teeth, and, you know, changed clothes, and off to work I went. Yep, I could do that. I mean, I still have the club stamp on my hand. Yeah, that would never happen now. So, but yeah, I mean, I've done that, which is, you know, it's totally bad for your skin. And, you know, like my grandmother always used, she used Pond's cold cream and oil of Olay. And she would always, even when I was a kid, she would encourage me, you know, Leanne, you should, you know, moisturize your face. And I'd be like, why, you know? Well, one day you're going to get old and you're going to wish you did. And I'm like, really? I don't think so. Well, of course she was right. But my grandmother, even at 92, did not have wrinkles. I mean, her face, you could tell she was old, of course, but her face was smooth. And people would always get amazed when she would tell them how old she was. Because she even smoked. And usually when, especially females, when they smoke, they, you know, I mean, you can tell I smoked because I had lines, but she didn't have any of that. So, yeah, I should have listened. But, you know, I'll probably, at 80, say I should have listened to it when I was 62. But, yep. Here we are. So, what have y'all been cooking? Have y'all cooked anything delicious? I have been cooking. I have been wanting to. I started taking, I think I told y'all this in my last one, a vitamin, and I think it's making me have more energy. So, I've been cooking. I made chicken a la king last night, and I had leftovers for dinner today. I've got soup in the freezer that I made the other day. And I just throughout the rest of the roast, we had roast and potatoes and rice, and I made some speckled butter beans that were just so good. They were fresh, frozen from the farmer's market, and they were so good. I will definitely make those again. Usually I just buy the dried, but they don't have speckled butter. Well, I haven't seen speckled butter beans in a long time in the dried section, so I always just get the regular white ones or cream ones, whatever they're called. These just taste better, and I like the texture better. But I've got more meat in the freezer. And it's so funny, what I had started doing was, I was like, okay, I bought this meat. Now I'm going to cook something, and what I cook is going to be based on what I have in my pantry. Just use up some of this stuff. So I did, and I finally had to go buy, you know, refresh. But it's like, try to find things you already have and use them. So that's been good. Like I made spaghetti the other day, and I was like, I've got all of these canned tomatoes, and so yeah. Oh, gotta be careful. That one there and that one there are 5s. So is that a 5 too? Yes, it is. A little tricky. So let me see if I can get in around these 5s. Okay. Okay, 5 8. So yeah, I've got some more hamburger meat. So I think that I will make some more spaghetti. That's always good. I love spaghetti. Actually, I don't really like meat sauce. I prefer meatballs. It's a texture thing. Max likes both, so I think last time I just made a meat sauce, and you know, and just didn't put much sauce on it, which is fine. I'm not a big sauce fan, but anyway, I think I might make meatballs this time because I do prefer them. But, you know, of course, it's more involved. But it's not horrible or anything, so. Sometimes I'm just lazy. So, last night, as I was laying in bed, as many of you know, if you've been around for any amount of time, I watch YouTube in bed. I don't watch my diamond painting channels. Mostly because I don't want to make myself go, ooh, I want to go diamond paint. You know, it's like, no, I need to go to sleep. So I have to watch stuff that's relaxing. It's mind numbing. No upsetting stuff, you know. And so last night I was watching Architectural Digest. And they had these unique homes. That was pretty interesting. If you like that kind of stuff, you should check it out. One of them, I was just like, no. You know, just a big fat no. That some of them were like one of the Frank Lloyd Wright houses. I was like, it's cool, but no, you know. But it was cool. It was cool. And the location, though, I mean, you know, some of these, the location was everything. But then they had this one, and I don't remember who the architect was, but oh my God, it was like, I want that house. It was built, it was an old quarry, and they hit water. So, you know, of course, they had to abandon the quarry. And for most people, they would think, oh, well, you know, you can't build anything on that. Well, they did. They built a house on the side of a cliff, because it was in the mountains. I think it was in the Adirondack Mountains. And so it had like a lake, you know. And then they had, they built the house with all of that in mind. And then they had a landscape architect do the other, and it was phenomenal. They had pumped water out of the basin up onto the cliff, and then it came a waterfall, and it looked like a naturally occurring waterfall. And I was like, oh, I need this in my life. I can't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine how much that house would cost. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Seriously. This one guy, he was the interior designer for this one house, and with the original owners, they were like, you know, just, because I guess he was also like an artist, and so they were like, you just, you know, we don't care what it costs. We just want it to be fantabulous. And it was so, I was like, that's the house I was like, no, this would drive me crazy. But I mean, sinks and faucets made out of one piece of granite or marble, and it was weird. And of course, all I could think about was like, because the bathtub was made out of nothing but river rock, and I was like, how the hell are you going to clean that? And how does that feel on your butt, you know? But, you know, I tend to do that, like, you know, that must be hard. Is that easy to clean? I don't think so. Of course, if you own that, you don't care how difficult it is to clean, because you are not cleaning it. But I always be afraid, what if I had to? But then I think, nope, you would never even have to, because if something happened where you couldn't afford a cleaning lady, then you sure as the hell won't be able to afford the taxes on it, and you're going to have to sell it. So there you go. But yeah, it was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I like looking at houses, how other people live. You know, I'm not really a modern person, because to me, like, I think it was, I was going to say it was the Frank Lloyd Wright house, but I don't know. I think I may have that confused with a different house, because there was, I don't know, about 5 or 6 houses that they showed. But anyway, one of them was the living room, and it had, you know, of course, a custom-made couch in it to go this whole length. But it looked like the most uncomfortable couch I ever saw in my life. Like something you'd see in a doctor's office. Like, this is not made for sitting here long term. There was no, you know, they had like a TV just kind of setting, like it was an afterthought. And I was like, no. No. I'm going to have my recliner, a big TV. You know, it's like, otherwise, what are you doing in there? Just sitting in an uncomfortable chair? I mean, does being uber wealthy mean you just are uncomfortable all the time? I don't know. So if you're uber wealthy, you let me know. Tell me how it is, because I don't know. All right, here it is. There I go yawning. Oh, gotta hold my chin. Oh. Yeah. Then I went to sleep to How It's Made. I never finish a whole How It's Made, but that's okay. That is okay. I actually started rewatching one that I had supposedly already seen, but I didn't remember it, so what difference does it make? So I started watching that again. But then they were making top hats, and part of me was like, oh yeah. Because I remember watching it thinking, because one of the hats they were making was a lady's bowler hat. And I was like, I need to get a hat. That's how easily I am influenced, y'all. But I don't wear hats, okay? Never have. Never liked hats. When I was a kid and it was cold, my grandmother would make me put on, you know, one of those knit hats, stocking hats, whatever you call it. And I hated them. And as soon as I got out of her view, as she walked, this was when I was in elementary, and she would watch me walk down the street. After a while, though, she couldn't see me. And I'd take that thing off and put it in my book bag. Because I was like, this is so stupid. I have tried to wear baseball hats. Yeah, it's like, these hats are so cute. And then there for a little bit, these straw hats that were kind of bunched up, you know, looked like maybe you should have a piece of straw in your mouth. Those were so cute. Women were wearing them. I think they still do, but I was like, you know what? I want one of those hats. I am going to get me one of those hats. I got one of those hats, and I never felt so silly in my whole life. So I never wore it again. Never, ever. But I want to, because, you know, I think women who wear hats are so cute. Especially like the little baseball style hats. It's like, oh, I like that. And, you know, all the styles that, you know, back in the day, like during Jackie Kennedy, you know, and wearing the hats and the matching hat and everything. It's like, oh, I love that look. I love that look. I think, I don't remember her name, but one of Trump's daughters, I think she wore something like that. Reminded me of Jackie O at the inauguration. And I was like, gosh, I love that look. It's just so classic, and it's so feminine. And, yeah. But, you know, I really did not come up during the age of where women wore hats all the time. That was just a little bit before my time. So, yeah. I think maybe if I would have, I probably would have enjoyed it. But oddly enough, I never saw my grandmother wear a hat. The only time I had to wear something was when my grandfather's mother died. So my great-grandmother, the Italian one, they were Roman Catholic. And so she died when I was 5. And so I had to go to the, of course, to go to the funeral, I had to wear a head covering with a veil over my eyes. And I was 5. And I really didn't have a chance to really think about it because I was more freaked out at the funeral. Because first of all, they had fire on either side. No, I grew up Baptist, so, and I'm pretty sure that was my first funeral to ever go to. And my grandmother threatened me with my very life to sit there and not, don't cause a scene. I don't know how many times I was told that, do not cause a scene. So I was like, I'm gonna be on my best behavior. And then the priest didn't look anything like my preacher. And he was speaking in a foreign language, which, I know now was Latin, but then I was like, I don't know what he's saying, but I was so afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen, I didn't know. I just remember it being dark and the flames and I didn't understand anything, so I just remember being very scared. So I didn't really think about what was on my face. I think I was okay. I sat as close to my grandmother as I could possibly sit without sitting in her lap. Isn't that funny how you remember things as a kid? But yeah, I mean, now I didn't ever really think about it, but now that I do think about it, it's only 5. So I can't think of whose funeral I would have gone to. Well, you know what? That's not true, because Nanny's mother died after I was born. I think I was about 2, but I do not, Nanny would tell me stories of, her chasing me around while I was crawling and, what have you, but I don't remember it. So, yeah, so there's that. But I remember Nanny telling me she really loved you. So, yeah. Sometimes I wish you could remember stuff, from that far back. I guess some people can, maybe. I do have some memories from when I was little. But, not good ones. I can tell you that. Oh, goodness. So anyway, we did not, well, I guess I was saying earlier, I tend to ramble, y'all. Well, not really ramble, but go from one thing to the next. So if you find it hard to keep up, I understand. You should try being me. We didn't have any bad weather. I mean, it got cold, I'll give you that. But it's been beautiful. Like if you were in the vehicle, because it was sunshiny, no clouds, all sun. So you're sitting in the vehicle with the heater on and the sun beating in on you. It would get kind of warm. So, that's why here it's, we all have a big jacket, but you put it on and you get in a car that is already heated, because you can do that before you leave. It's got seat heaters, and then you go a short distance from your vehicle to inside the store, which is heated, and you got to take off your jacket or else you'll have a heat stroke. So, yeah, these they're fine if you're going to be out walking in, the freezing weather, but it's more of a hassle, because then when you get into the vehicle with your coat on, you know, like your Nanook of the North, and you look like the Michelin Man. You know, just putting on your seatbelt, it's like, oh my God, I can't even move my arm because it's just, no. So that's what I noticed. So today I wore a lighter jacket. Max wore his heavy jacket. I was like, that's why I don't wear my heavy jacket, because it just gets bunglesome and it's not comfortable. So now, having said that, if I lived in a climate where it was freezing all the time, and especially when you're getting down to, you know, the teens or the 20s or even lower than that, then yeah, I mean, I'd probably, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, I'm sure then I would just be uncomfortable. But, I mean, I wasn't outside when it was that cold anyways. But I think we are done for a little bit. I think this weekend we have a couple of, you know, below freezing nights, but nothing, not like hard freeze that I know of. That's subject to change. It always is. But, yeah. Let's see. I wonder if I'm going to finish this at some point. Oh, I got to call my dad. So I don't know that I'm going to get to finish this section. I don't think I will. Because I usually call my dad at 5:30. It is 5:45. And, yeah. Oh, that's just one. Okay. So other than that, I mean, other than, oh, you know, I guess I'll talk about my current events that I'm working on. Besides this one, I'm doing the pink and black, and I'm doing Couch Cow for that. And I love the kit. It's beautiful. I've seen it finished, and it's absolutely stunning. And after I work on a section, when I stand up and then look at it, it's like, oh, that is really nice. But while I'm working on it, I can't really tell what I'm working on. And I'm not gonna lie, Diamond Art Club is just really outdid themselves with the rendering on this. I mean, it's the detail is just incredible. They've done a great job. But for some reason, I'm getting very bored, which happens sometimes to me. And so I'm not going to be able to finish it for the event. However, I think I'm going to continue doing it until the event is over, and then I think it's going to go into my long-term WIPs, which may actually be, I won't see it again until next year. Next year's pink and black. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I normally don't like doing that because once I get it out of my head, once it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And I don't want to, you know, start buying, you know, when it gets closer to pink and black, go, oh, look, I'm going to get this, you know, because I do that. I will do that. It's like I already had a kit, but now I'm getting another kit. So that is my plan. It will take up one of my cat-eared storages, which I don't like that. But I did order some more. So, because I love them so much. And, you know, of course, I had to start on that Peter Pan from Feel Look Art. And, I mean, I'm loving it. In fact, when I came up here, I was like, I want to work on that kit, you know. And I think that's another reason why I got kind of bored. I was like, oh, I really wish I was working on that Peter Pan. But, yeah. I am, you know, granted, I'm not, you know, this is my first kit. It's not my first kit to own because I bought 3 at one time. but it is my first kit from Feel Look Art to work on, and I love it. I love it. Their artwork is produced in-house. So, yeah, it's, yeah, what I don't love, and it's a big don't love, is the fact that they don't have sticker sheets. I'm hoping that with enough people complaining about it, that will change. They do include sticker sheets, but they're just numbered 1 through 60. That is, that doesn't do anything for us, right? So it doesn't do anything for me. I would still have to go and look at the legend and see what, number 21 was for a symbol. And it would be better if they included a paper legend so that, you could make your own stickers, which I did make my own stickers, but I had to hold the canvas. I had to do it twice because it wouldn't fit on my whole copier, just to get, so I could make stickers. And, it got a little funky because, I'm having to stand there and hold it. So, yeah. And I made stickers and they worked out just fine, but it would have been easier if they'd had a legend. It would have just been easier if they provided a sticker sheet. I also need to get some eucalyptus oil. I have some, but I just got to find it. Because I have some cat ear tray bricks that I need to take stickers off from a Muni-Made kit. And I forgot to, put something down so that I wouldn't stick. And I forgot. These over here. Yep. The only stickers I know of that do not stick to my containers are Diamond Art Clubs. Never had a problem. Wait a minute. The ones downstairs, are those? That is not Muni-Made. That is Diamond Painting Shop. So maybe it's Muni-Made that doesn't stick. I know that pretty much everybody but Diamond Art Clubs do stick. But now I kind of think maybe Muni, I don't know. Anyway. I need to order me some more of those vinyl stickers that you can reuse, that go on your container, and then you just, come on, man. You just put the stickers on top and then take the stickers off of them. So I do need to get me some more of those. Still working on my, I don't know. I'm sorry, I do not know what they're barking at. My temperature chart. I got some new DP with sparklers. They actually came in last night, but it was too cold for me to go to the mailbox. So I got them this morning, or got them today. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. We finally got some temperature changes. So it was like, we're just going to have the same color for the whole year. But I did the 21st and the 22nd in special drills because it was Nanny's birthday on the 21st and Jacob's birthday on the 22nd. I do not know what the people next door, well, the parents moved. They had a house up by Austin that they had built, and so they split their time between here and there. Well, they decided to go ahead and move there full time, which I don't blame them. So their son is taking over the house next, their house. I mean, it's the house he grew up in. And so, yeah, he's been getting all kinds of stuff done. I guess, these houses were all built in the early 90s. Ours was built in 95. So they're it's time. And I don't know when the last time was that they upgraded, but based on pictures that I've seen, it's been a bit. So yeah, so they've been having workers over there. I don't know what they're doing, but the dogs hear them. You know, they hear the workers going out to the trucks. They hear the ladders and all the things. And so once again, they save us from perpetual doom, and we are very ungrateful. I don't know. One of these days, they're just going to pack their crap and leave. I tell them if they mess with me, I'm going to feed them to the coyote. We have a coyote. It's coming by too early, in my opinion. It comes by my front door. It comes from the street way, you know, like it's walking towards my front door. And but I don't think it's a full grown, because it's awful gangly and it's skinny, but it's very gangly. And it was, you know, last night on my Ring camera at 7:45, it showed that this black cat that's been coming around since, in fact, when we first bought the house and we're coming over here, that black cat was either really fat or really pregnant. And I think she was really pregnant, because not too long after that, I don't know, a few months after that, the Ring camera started picking up, you know, a kitten with the same black cat. Just one, though. So I don't know what happened to the other ones, but she's black. I think she's all black. Based on what I can tell, she's all black. And then the baby, which is full size now, is black and white. But the mama came by my Ring doorbell at 7:45, and then at 8 the coyote came. So now I could tell by the direction, you know, the mama was going, that she went the opposite way, or the coyote went the opposite way that she went. But yeah, I mean, I know. I was like, oh, he looks so, or he or she, I don't know, looks so skinny, you know, I should throw some dog food out there. Max was like, are you crazy? And I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. So I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm going to let nature do what nature do. Oops. But I wanted to. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I've set up my live. So I hope, if you're watching this before, then I don't know if this will come up tonight. It is Tuesday. Tuesday the 27th of January 2026. So I'll try to get it up tonight, but a lot's going to have to depend on internet speed, and, you know, I got to make a thumbnail, and I got to call my dad, and then while the video is uploading from my editor, I don't do a lot of editing, but I do piece together the intro and the outro. So while that's saving to my phone, I can't use my phone. So I'll have to call my dad first before I can start on that. So yeah. So I think I'm going to stop here and go ahead and get all that taken care of. I don't know how long I've been on here, but I think I've been on here chatting your ear off for a while now, and I don't really have much else to say. Oh, I'm sure I do, and I'm sure I'll think about it later, but yeah, right now, I can't think of it. So anyway, as always, I totally appreciate you being here, taking time out of your day to spend it with me and listening to my yabberings. I'd like to know in the comments. Please let me know how you're doing, what you're working on. If you have any comments about anything I said, I would greatly appreciate seeing them. I love communicating with you, and I love reading your comments, and I do respond to all of them. If ever there comes a time that I don't respond to your comment, please go on Facebook. I'm on Diamonds and Doxies there, and send me a message and say, hey, lady, are you ignoring me? Because, I'm not. But I don't trust YouTube to always let me know. So far they have. So I'm just saying, though, if it ever comes down to you haven't heard a response from me in 24 hours, then something's wrong. I'm usually answering within 12 hours. Depends on the time of day that you leave a comment. So anyway, I hope you give the video a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. I'll be back at least once a week with a regular video. WIP and chat once a week, a live once a week, and unboxings and reviews and things of that nature as they come up. So anyway, in the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your week, and thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.